What's up, Xavier Architects? Jumping back into Rhino, and we're just going to start with a fresh slate. We're going to call this one Lines to Surfaces, but it's actually going to be more like points to lines at first, or points to curves. So why don't we just name this Points to Curves? So File, Save As, and wherever it is you're saving your architectural design stuff, we'll go Points to Curves. Okay, so we'll save that, and then as we hit Control S throughout the process, it'll save it for us. So three basic, elements here. We've got our points, we've got curves or line segments, but anything that's a line we call it a curve in Rhino. And then we have surfaces. So you've got, sort of some fun little menus of different buttons that you can use to make all that stuff. We're just going to start basically by creating, you'll notice we have different layers here. I've already got my layers lined up. If you don't, you remember from the other one where we could create layers and sub-layers. I'm just making like a points 3D matrix. So I'm creating, a point matrix, and then I'll show you how we'll use the layers when we start building the point cube. Okay, so let's start with a point, and I'm just going to come here to the origin and put in my first point, and then I'm just going to select that point and hold down the Alt key with the arrow to the right, and I'll type in 5 and hit enter, and I'm going to do that again and again and again. So I'll end up with 5 points right there, and then I'm going to take those 5 points and select around them so that I have them all selected, and I'm also going to hold down the Alt key as I click on the arrow to copy, and again I'm going to do that same thing. So we got 5 in each direction. Okay, good, nice. Alright, now I'm just going to highlight all of those points, and we're going to do it vertically now. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key as I click on the up arrow, 5, and then 5, and then 5, and then one more time, I think, right? Boom. Alright, let's see. Yeah, look at that. Kind of cool, groovy. Oh, man. Yeah, it looks kind of cool when you're on the side, and you're they're all lined up there, but it can get a little distressing and confusing when you're on an angle like this. So one good way, I think, to try to keep these separated is to put each layer, each three-dimensional layer into its own layer on Rhino. So I'm going to take this base layer here and just drag around just the base layer, and remember I can go down here to my layers and assign this. So since that's at the bottom, I'm going to call that layer 1. Oh, it wants me to color it. Let me just go with layer 1. Boom, I already colored you. Alright, boom, I've got layer 1, and now I'm going to highlight all of these guys and come down here and make that layer 2. And then I'm going to highlight this group, and I'm going to go down and make that layer 3. And you can see, maybe you can see better than me, the coloring of these as we go through it. And finally the last group. Is orange. Okay, so you get a sense there. It's a little easier to see them now when they're sort of colored that way. And also, if I don't want to see particular ones or I want to get them out of the way, I can get rid of them by using this little, my little guy here, my little flash bulb or my light bulb. And you'll notice that there's a check mark next to layer 3. So that's just where you're drawing at the time, or what's the active layer. So I'm going to make the default layer the active layer, so I don't accidentally draw or put additional objects into these little spaces. Okay, so I've got this really interesting grid of points, and my next step is going to be to build the curves that are going to attach the different points. Okay, so assuming I want to build some curves here, pulling my view here over to the side, and I'm going to just draw with a polyline. That's this guy here. I'm just going to click on the polyline, and you'll notice up here in my little command line it says start of polyline, and I'm going to start here in the top corner of the top layer, and I'm going to draw a line that connects those 2 points, and then I'm going to come down here to the next layer of points, and then to the next layer of points, and to the next layer of points, and then to the bottom layer of points, and then boom, and up to the top to join, something like that. Look at that. So now we got what looks like a little set of stairs. Okay, and I know that they're perfectly square, and I know that they're all the same distances because when we made the points, we made them all symmetrical and 5 units apart. So yeah, there's my points to curves, and if I wanted to, I could do the same thing just as a point of practice. I could try to do the same thing on the other side. Boom, boom, to there, to there, to there, to there. Could get confusing here. You gotta be careful. To there, and then to there, and you'll notice as each time I get to a point of juncture, I'm clicking, and then this thing just is kind of ready for me to go to the next spot, and it automatically snaps because if you'll notice down here, I've got grid snap, I've got object snap or O snap, smart track, and the gumball all enabled. So now I've got 2 sets of my staircase there. And if I want to join that in here, I could just go from here to here. Boom. And then I can just hit enter if I'm done with that line, which I was. And then I can go from, let me see, let me get a good, sometimes you guys might be even better than I am at navigating this. Sometimes I feel like I'm a total novice, but I'm doing my best. And here I come in here for this line. Boom, enter. Oops, try that again. Click, and then enter. And what you could do is you could create each of these little curves that you need. Boom, to here. Right. Enter. Boom, to here. Okay, see that coming together, and just a bunch of curves, but they're working together to create something that we actually recognize. Once you have a command that you're using over and over again, you can actually just, once I hit enter to stop the line, I can hit space bar and it's ready to draw the next line. So enter and then space bar and I'm ready to go again. It queues up whatever my last command was. Rhino gets it ready for me to, thinking it's anticipating it, saying, oh, you want to do the same thing you just did? Oh yeah, okay, I can do that. And boom, check that out. We got what looks like a little staircase. And now if we were to take our points and disappear them, there. Then we've got what is this? Looks like a wireframe of our staircase. Cool, right? So points to curves. So play with that. Make your own. Make something out of that grid, that cube grid. See if you can make something out of the polylines or the curves, right? And show me what you can come up with. Try to make the stairs first, and then invent something different. And it doesn't have to be anything that's usable or recognizable. It could just be kind of an abstract thing, but make it interesting. Design something cool. All right? Good luck.